What is a bucket list? The second thing is how to get started. And the third thing is why should I have one? So next slide. So what is a bucket list? So a bucket list is a list of things that you want to do before you kick the bucket or, die in this case. Here are a couple of examples. Feed a baby calf, participate in a flash mob, or appear on live television. Next. So how to get started. So I want you to look online for inspiration, and when I say that, I want you to either search online for bucket list ideas. I actually have a website called thebucketlistgirl.com, so if you go on there, there'll be plenty of inspirations for you. The next thing you want to do is grab a pen and a paper and write. So I gave you guys, I hand you out a little bucket list from 1 to 10. So actually, I forgot to ask you guys before I started, who here has a bucket list? Does anyone? Wow.
I have one.
You do?
No,
Awesome.
kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. I made it up so you wouldn't feel bad.
So we're going to change that hopefully. So, okay, see that's good. So what I want you to do is on this little paper that I gave you, just kind of as I'm talking, just kind of write down any ideas that you have that come to mind. The next thing that I want you to do is, you guys know Pinterest.com? Or have you guys been on that? Okay. So I want you to go on Pinterest and start your bucket list board. And in a way, what that does is the Pinterest will give you a visual of what you want to accomplish. So, you can put travel ideas on there. If you want to eat something different, you can put food ideas, just kind of go crazy. The possibilities are endless when it comes to bucket list. And I say that because you don't have to have just one bucket list, like a life list. You can start small. For example, you can start with the summer bucket list, and we're almost there. So just kind of start small and then go from there. Okay. Okay, so why should you have a bucket list? And I actually get asked this a lot, day to day. The first thing I tell people is, why not? Like, why don't you have a bucket list? I felt like, it's great to write your goals down. It doesn't have to be, a lot of people are scared of doing bucket lists because they think that they don't have the money for it, or it's never going to happen. So start small, and then just kind of build up to traveling and, spending more money on certain things. Also, I believe that you don't have to be sick or old, and that's another thing when I get asked about bucket lists is, well, are you sick or what's going on? And no, you don't have to. I want you to start today. And obviously, if you have a bucket list, you're going to do so many new adventures. For example, a hot air balloon ride, something that I never would have thought I would have done before, having a bucket list. So that's just kind of an idea on there. So that's it for that slide. Okay, and then, like I said, you can go to thebucketlistgirl.com and it'll just kind of give you some ideas, and then Pinterest.com. Anyone have any questions?
Why you say the bucket list is to die?
No, to kick the bucket.
No, to kick the, okay, so I forgot to mention that. So it was coined back in the day, about 1785 to be exact. They would, when someone was in trial, they would put them on a bucket, that person on top of a bucket, and hang them and kick the bucket. So that's why they would die, but now, as the ages have come, we call that's why it's called a bucket list, because it's before you kick the bucket, things that you're going to do.
So why is that good to have it?
Oh my goodness, there's so many reasons. I feel like, again, I don't think I would have ever gone on live TV if it wasn't for me having a bucket list. I wouldn't have started my dream degree either, because I just was kind of living day by day, like day to day, and not really you know, not putting myself out there. And I feel like when you have a bucket list, you're gonna have so many new adventures that are gonna come your way. Like you said though, you don't have to be thinking, oh, I wanna travel the world. Start with, I wanna travel Utah, I wanna go down to St. George, or I wanna, you know, go to Moab or something, and then kind of build up to it.
How often do you review your bucket list?
So I have about 5 different bucket lists. So I have a main one, which is a life list, which is about 500 items long. It's huge. Yeah. And then I have a family bucket list, and then I have a summer one, which the summer one is the one that we change every year. So like every year, I either add new things to it or change it up. It all depends on what happened the year before, if I completed all of them. So.
I just have a random question that's just blew my head.
Yeah.
Since, like, we're talking about bucket lists, which like the next 20, 30 years and some of them, like, you really don't know when you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you like achieve these goals? Like, how are they measurable?
So here's what I would suggest. How about you start 30 before 30, or what do I want to do, you know, a year from now? Like, how many things do I want to cross a year from now? And then, you know, because you never know. That's the thing about bucket lists. You don't know when you're going to die. So
It's never accurate. So
it's not. No, it's not. And it's, you know, that's why you write things down, because there's your goals, your dreams, and you go from there. So yeah, it's still fun. It's still something cool to do. So I would recommend it.
So basically, they're just goals, but it's more fun to say the bucket list.
Yeah, so, well, I call them my goals, but, you know, I also call them bucket lists, because a lot of things, like, for example, I haven't jumped out of the plane yet, because that freaks me out, but it's on there. It's like a top thing on my list. Like, I want to do it so bad, but it freaks me out. Like, I'm scared. Like, I'm not even scared of heights or anything. But yeah, for some reason it just freaks me out. So it's one of those things that I've had it, because so I've been doing, so my website, I've been doing it for about 8 years. And I've had that on there. That was like one of the first things that I added to it. And I still haven't done it, because I'm like, I'll do it next year. I'll just wait until I'm a little older. But yeah, so just.
Have you seen the bucket list?
What?
Have you seen the bucket list?
Yes, I did. So actually, yeah, so I started in 2008. The bucket list movie came out in 2007. So my website wasn't about bucket lists when I first started. And then after watching the movie, I kind of was like, oh, okay, I can kind of work with this. Yeah. Morgan Freeman. Yeah, that movie's cool. But see, they're old, and that's like what people, you know, like that's what everyone thinks, they have to be old or sick. And no, not at all. You can start like today, right now, and just do little things. So.
Thank you.
10 minutes.
I guess
It took 10 minutes.
Those were the